Good morning, everybody. My name is Marty Forrest. I am a soul coach and a mentor. I have a special guest today to interview, talk about the course that's going to start on the 28th of July. I also do personal one-on-one coaching. Find out more about any of that, listen to this call, and you can go to my website and find out more about the dates and times and costs and when it begins, what it involves. Kaylin will cover some of that today. Or if the group is not for you, then one-on-one coaching. And you can go straight to the website on the landing page. You can sign up and get your free gift. It's steps to reprogramming your own self-talk. And then I think you're all on my email list already. So anybody else can sign up on that list and get on the email list. And then this call happens every single week. All these calls are recorded. You can listen to anything at any time just by going to the website under Insider Calls and go through the list and see what speaks to you, because they're all there for your convenience. And sometimes I think people re-listen because the information is valuable and we're at different places all the time in our life, which applies to Miss Kaylin. So let me introduce Kaylin, who's here today to talk about the course. She agreed to allow me to interview her. She has participated twice. And that's where that comes out of, is life happens and we're at different places every time we repeat something. So we are human beings and often need to repeat things and hear things more than one time and sometimes in a little different way to really get the information and to start implementing it. So with that, welcome to Miss Kaylin. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad it worked out. This time. So let me start with, Kaylin is a very, very dear friend of mine, so maybe a little slanted. Not really, but, she did the course twice because it was that valuable to her and what happened in her world. And so I'm just grateful that you agreed to be able to show up today and share your wisdom and insight from what you received from being there. So
yes.
I'll just start with what inspired you to actually sign up for the first time, when you signed up to do the course for the first time.
I'm 53 years old, and I have had some things in my life that have led me to a place now where I'm working on healing a lot of areas, and healing in a lot of areas. And I did some soul searching. I went to my higher power, spirit, God, and asked for some tools to show up in my life that would help me do some healing work on myself. And it just so happened that the doors opened and your course started and came at me. You started your course and your travels and your journeys at that same exact time, and I was available. We were able to hook up and do this. It was amazing. Perfect timing.
It happens that way.
Yeah.
It happens that way. And then you reviewed the course. So that was the first time, and then you decided that reviewing it was a good call for you. And what was happening at that point that you decided that was a good idea?
So the very first time I took the course, I had kind of gotten into I was distracted. There was things in my life that were happening that were distracting me from my original intent. And I just felt like I needed to dig deeper. And so with the materials that you provide, I was able to do that. I was able to kind of know already what was going to happen by going through the first time, and then I was able to sit with myself a little bit longer and in more depth and without the distractions. And I guess I actually really placed a higher value on the course and its materials and what I was going to get out of it the second time, because I knew what the potential was by going through the first time.
Awesome. That's amazing. And so how does it continue to show up for you?
I'll never forget some of the things that happened because they were life-changing as we went through and dug deep, you know. The things that really helps me to see my little girl that I'm going to cry. I had hurt her for so long. And because of the course, I was able to make a pact with her that I would never hurt her again. And, you know, that's kind of shown up a little bit for me here lately. But what's happened is in the past, it would take me a long time to recognize what I was doing. And because of the course, I can spot it now. And I'm able to take action.
Would you say that was your biggest gift, or is there more that you get?
Oh, there's more. I don't think we have time to really go into it. There's a lot more.
Right.
There's a lot more. I mean, you know, the course just offers a lot of good stuff. I mean, you know, I highly recommend it. The fact that you're able to do it again at no cost right now, if you're still doing that, is amazing. You know, that it's always available for us and we can reconnect with each other is cool. I've gotten a friendship out of one of the girls that took the course, Susie. You know, I kind of feel like we have a connection now. So you kind of connect with other people that go through the course at the same time or have been through the course.
Absolutely. Did you get to redefine for yourself what it looks like to love yourself on the inside?
Oh, yeah. You know, I never really realized just how much. I mean, I knew that the self-talk, the negative chatter and stuff that was going on in my brain, I knew that it was not healthy. But when I was able to actually do something about it for the first time ever and see a result from it, it put things in a whole new perspective.
I love that. Would you share how you've redefined it?
It doesn't control me anymore. I don't have to let it control me anymore. So what that looks like is first thing in the morning when the chatter starts going and I get into that negative space of not loving Kaylin because I'm giving power to that negative chatter, I'm able to stop and turn it around and literally use the words, what if the opposite were true? So what that does is that allows me to stop, I call it emotional and spiritual cutting. Because that's kind of what I've done my whole life. I've been an emotional cutter. You know, I don't physically cut myself, but I do it on other levels and that are just as painful, if not more painful, because you can't see them and the scars don't heal. So I'm actually able to stop that process now. You know, if I choose, I still have my days, don't get me wrong, but they're less today, you know.
Part of human nature, huh? Just that process. And if you were to share it with someone else that you thought would be a good fit, what would you tell them? Why should they?
If I thought that it was good, what you mean, the course?
Yeah, the course.
I would tell them that that if they're at that point in their life where they're open-minded and willing to learn a way to heal, that this course can give them the tools to do that.
Excellent. How does it show up in your world for others? The healing that you've gained and redefining what it looks like to love yourself. How does that manifest in your world with other people?
Well, my daughters don't have to see me in such a dark place all the time anymore, you know, because I'm able to apply some of the tools and actually see how it, or work it in my life, and then I'm also able to share what I've learned with them. I work a program, a self-help program, and I've worked with other women, and I'm able to kind of put some of that into perspective for them too, and just let them know what's worked for me. And so, it allows me to be more available and open because I'm not so fixated on my negative stuff, and I'm able to be, since I'm loving myself more now, I'm actually able to love other people in a deeper way too.
Absolutely. How do you begin to shift from when the negative kicks in and the committee starts, or the Coliseum, I call it, when it gets really going? How do you redirect that?
I stop and I look at the facts today, because it's, I call my I have a name for her, that woman up there. I tell Clara, hey, Clara, check it out. Thank you for the information, but I've got facts to support that you're wrong. And it's just not working. And I tell her it just doesn't work for me anymore. Our relationship is changing. That doesn't work for me anymore. And what if the opposite were true, Clara? And it shuts her up, because the opposite is most likely, and most of the time it's true. The opposite of what she's telling me is actually fact. So I'm able to shift that today.
Yes, we have met Clara.
Yeah.
I like that. I love that. I have that name. I have a name too, and so learning how to shift out of that and manage it differently.
Mm-hmm.
Managing our emotions, that emotional, healthy sobriety place. Awesome. Anything else that you would like to add?
I feel more empowered since I took the course. I think that it opened the door for me. It was like a flower blossoming. I was ready. So it started to crack the egg a little bit and crack the shell around my heart and my brain a little bit towards more self-love. And it's opened the door for me to look at other different types of things, I've had some trauma in my life that I get to do some work around today that I wasn't ready to do until I did some of this little girl work. So it's like, it's a process. This is a process. And I look forward to seeing where you go with your journey, Marty, so that, if you continue on this path as well, there'll be more stuff for me to be able to do with you, and I look forward to that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. I've been learning more and more about the trauma and the generational trauma, and it seems that as I've presented this course, I learn more, and I find things that scientifically are validating what I have created. So from a science perspective, it gets validated by other things that I read. I created this out of my own experience and what has happened in my life to now help other women, as you do now too. And so I get to learn more and more about that and find things that validate what I've known and what I've created. So that's super exciting. So that I'm absolutely gonna be tweaking it a little bit and adding some more stuff, and it gets tweaked every time a little bit, depending on the women that sign up. So I'm excited. Does anybody have any other questions they want to ask Kaylin? Let's see. Do I have any other questions I would like to ask you? What was your biggest takeaway from the course? Like, I've heard different people say, I remember this exact thing that I use in my life every day or often. There's something like that, like some phrase or something that was said or something that just totally sticks in your brain from taking it now twice?
In the end, you do a meditation where we walk up to our little girl, and there's a spot on the river that I know is always there, and it's really there. And if I want to go and really sit with her, I can there. And I wouldn't have gone to that place mentally if we hadn't done that meditation. So that was huge for me. And there's like probably that and two other things that have stuck with me that I use and that I hold on to. I have a stuffed animal, a big stuffed animal, right? And it was given to me in a loving way by a person who loves me very much. And it's my favorite animal. It's a snow leopard, and it's really soft. It's got a long tail. Like if I hold it up to in my arms, the tail goes down to the floor. And I keep her on my bed so that I can visualize my little girl every day. And so I can't help but think that it's because of the Course. I keep her on my bed with me every day. And there's been 3 times since the Course where I have started to not act right with my little girl, or I've been in a place where I could hurt her, and I've grabbed, because the promise I made, I grabbed my stuffed animal and I'll lay and just hug her and hold her. And that's like, I got that out of the Course. I got that out of the Course.
Awesome. I know there's been some others that keep that physical representation to remind them. Because we, as human beings, are good forgetters. So having that reminder is awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Mickey, I don't have any more questions. Does anybody else have questions or an insight or something that you're taking away from today? Something that inspires you?
Well, I have, I don't know if it's a question, but maybe it is, on how you find yourself, or do you find yourself redirecting your children? You said you had a daughter?
Yes, I have 2 daughters.
2 daughters, okay. And how you find yourself, I guess, redirecting your daughters using what you learned?
Yeah, they, they're strong women, but their childhoods were not the best because of my life choices, and so they too are doing work, on themselves to be. Well, they're just strong women anyway, but because life has kind of made them be that way. But so there's been a couple times where, I've been able to share with them how I'm going through something and how I've been able to, stop the negative talk in my head and how I've done that. And I know it's worked for my oldest daughter. And my youngest daughter, it's more about the work on the little girl because her little girl is hurting, So it's just they both are at different places in their lives, and I'm able to share with them some of the things that I've learned, and it's helped.
Okay. That's all I had.
Thanks, Susie. Miss Sarah, did you have anything that you would like to add or share?
No, sorry, I just fell off. I had to call back in. No, I just want to say thank you, Caitlin, for being so open and vulnerable and sharing your experience with the program, because it was really nice to hear what you got.
Love you.
Yes, thank you for sharing that. That's incredible.
Thanks for being here. I so appreciate you. So I know you're at work, and I know she works in the insurance business, so it's crazy busy right now. So I just appreciate you being able to take some time and join the call today and share at the Course. I'll give you the dates. It's begins the 28th of July, Saturday mornings, 8 o'clock, 1-hour call. For all of the details, go check out the website because there's a page there on Work With Me, and you can go into the mentor section, the group coaching, and all the information about what's included, what's involved. It's one of those things, like anything in life, is that you get out what you put into it. And so as much as you're ready for and willing to do is what you'll get from it. And so it's designed that way. And it's that I call them the gift that keeps on giving. It's one of those kind of things that it more and more gets revealed as we keep being present to who we are in the world and how we are in the world and taking care of that little girl that lives inside of us. That was truly the beginning, the deep beginning of the deeper healing for me, which was why I created this, because there was something missing in all this other stuff I was doing. There was a missing, and I didn't know what it was. And then I got into doing that inner child healing and taking care of that little girl that was inside. And that's when a different place opens inside. And that's what this has been born out of. And as I keep going, I continue to research and learn more and refine it a little bit each time and refine it to the group of women that join any particular session that we're doing. So that's the scoop on that part. Any other questions, insights, takeaway?
So I have a question, and I could take it offline if you want. But if you paid for the course already once, can you take it again at any time? I think I had heard your answer to this before, but I'm going to make sure.
I did. I have offered it that once you sign for the course and you do one, then you can absolutely come back and review it. What I ask is that you make the commitment to be there as often as you can. And I get that there are times that people are not able to be on a call. All those calls are recorded. You get to keep them. So, you can download them to your own computer. And then, so if you miss a call, it's important that you listen and, so you stay on track with the workbook. And then, yes, I'm going to, you can review it at any time you choose.
And the second time is a big eye-opener. I mean, it's like if you commit to it and really commit to it the second time, there's something, it touched me so deep.
There's something magical about the first time, the first experience. I've had women who just were like, oh my gosh, this is all such new information or different information than they've ever been exposed to. And it felt really like a lot and overwhelming, like any new thing that we do. And then when you come and review, then you're just going into those deeper layers because now we've planted a lot of those seeds into your consciousness. And now we get to water them some more and watch them get fertilized and grow. I love to garden, so that's a lot of my analogies. It's that. So yes, you can review it if you choose. It would be awesome. In this particular time, it's actually 6 consecutive weeks. I was able to put on the calendar for 6 whole weeks. I think it falls over the holiday weekend though, or ends on the holiday weekend on the 1st of September. So, sometimes that gets shifted a little bit. If people can't be here, I'm not going to do a call with nobody there, or only one. I want to have most of us here. So that's what I have for today. Thank you so much. Let me turn on.